All right, there we go. We're live. Hello, everyone. This is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur. This is a live stream. Let me move this just a little bit there. That's just a little bit. Get away from whenever it's daytime. It always shines in there. So, anyway, folks, once again, hello. This is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur. We're going to talk about the Uber IPO, which was very, very poor, to say the least. Now then, hey Sultan. So just to give everyone a heads up, for those of you who are not watching live, this was at one point a live stream. I don't anticipate this being a super long live stream, but you never know. Um, Matthew says, "What? Kevin, buy stock already?" Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Um, but anyway, we're going to talk about the IPO. Like, there's a few things I wanted to comment on. There's a lot of theories about the IPO and what happened, but I've actually already talked about Pro for a while, this video is not about Pro. Oh, already got 40 people. Well, hey everyone, you caught us pretty early. So here's the thing: Uber IPO happened yesterday, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. I mean, there was like a lot of hope that it was going to be big, but after the Lyft IPO pretty much popped and dropped, which was basically a term where like it goes up and then it goes down. That's what pop and drop means. We were kind of thinking, well, who knows what's going to happen? It could go up. I mean, I assumed that they would at least get what they were asking for. But leading up to it, there was not a lot of hope. In fact, the whole topic is so sour. That's why we've got Pikachu dancing in the background. You know, just a little bit of happiness. By the way, Detective Pikachu's a adorable movie. Just to let you know, it's Deadpool for kids. So anyway, before Uber went public, they said, and hello everyone, I do see you. Thank you for joining us. They said that Uber was going to be worth $120 billion. That's how much they said it was going to be worth. We didn't know how much they were going to price the stock, but they were looking to raise about $10 billion worth of capital. Well, as the month has gone by, we've seen them say, okay, it's not worth 120 billion. It's worth more like $100 billion. And then it became worth like $90 billion. And so the question came around, like, what are they going to actually price the stock? Apparently, $72 per share was too much for Lyft. Like, that was not worth it for people to invest in Lyft for the most part. And Lyft is the second runner-up. They're number two to Uber. So if they're not worth $72, then Uber had to aim a little lower. They had to aim lower. That's pretty much all they had to do. And they kept talking about, okay, they're probably going to price it between $47 to $48 a share, which would have kept it around the $80 billion range. And then they finally announced the price, $45 a share, which, by the way, that's pretty close to what I'd be willing to pay. I've kind of told people I'm waiting for the stock to get down to 30 before I buy a share. And I'm not going to be buying a lot of shares. It's just going to be like one or two. Just enough to say I'm invested in the company, therefore I still have a reason to make these videos because, you know, apparently being a news commentary channel doesn't matter because I just don't drive. Well, I'm going to be invested soon. But I didn't want to spend money on stock that I knew was going to go down. Then Uber made the announcement. It's going to be $45. Okay. So that means the company is worth more or less $75 billion. On day one, even before the bell started ringing, Uber went from being valued at $120 billion in theory to being worth $75 billion on paper. Now, that's still a lot of money. We can't say, I'm not going to say that that's like a bad thing per se, but that is a difference of 45 billion, if I believe. If I have the math correctly, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Someone will probably correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not very good at math. I'm good at spreadsheets and stuff, but I'm not good at doing math in my head. So, by the way, 94 people, thank you for joining. So anyway, $45 a share. That's what Uber stock is going to sell for. The first share started selling, and I've got the chart here. I know I can't share it with you guys, but it opens at $42.28. $42.28. Then it drops immediately to $41.85. And it's like, oh boy, this isn't good. However, it starts to go up. It goes up to $42.46, then $43.63, a little dip to $42.97, $43.64, $43.99. Oh boy, it's getting up there. Then it goes down to $43.99, but then it goes up to $44.73. So it's getting close to the $45. And then it just kind of goes down, down, down. And it closes. It closes at $41.27. If you go to the after-hour prices, it upticks ever so slightly to $41.43 in the after-hour trading. Stock fell 7.62% on the very, very first day. And from reports that I have read, this means Uber as a company has lost about $5.4 billion in value. So they're worth less than $70 billion. Okay. Again, a $70 billion valuation is still not bad, but this is actually, it's been written about quite extensively, and I've got the several article here, so I'm going to kind of pick and choose. But New York Times has called this the worst IPO in recent memory. In fact, Time magazine says this might very well be the worst IPO in history, based on the fact that the company lost almost $50 billion from being announced going public to actually going public, and dipped on the day one. Now, some people have pointed a few things out. They have pointed out that Netflix, Amazon, and Microsoft, actually Netflix and Amazon. Forget Microsoft, that's for something else. But Amazon and Netflix, they opened up on their stock, and when they opened up, they were not making money. Or the profits were super razor thin. Actually, Amazon still technically isn't making money, and neither is Netflix. Spotify also was losing money when they premiered, and their stock has done pretty good for the most part. Big difference. Those were money-losing companies, but the stock went up. So that meant investors were confident that at one point, from what I understand, I'm not necessarily an analyst, it should not be taking as financial advice, but they considered those companies to be worth something in the long run. The other big highlight that people like to bring up is Facebook. Facebook opened at $39.99, and I actually remember this because I was actually watching the stock market that day, and it dropped like a few dollars, and within like a month it was under $30. But here's the thing, Facebook was profitable. The investors didn't understand how it was profitable, but once they understood how it was profitable, they rallied behind it, and those Facebook stocks that I bought when they were I bought Facebook stocks when they got to I think $24, something like that. I bought several of them at that point. Those ended up being worth hundreds of dollars. But Facebook was profitable. So even if the stock was slowing down from the get-go, they could actually point to we made money. And then when their first earnings report showed up, oh, by the way, we beat revenue expectations. Thus, it inspired investor confidence. So, and then, of course, you have Microsoft and Apple. They were profitable when they became public, and as a result, their stocks went up. By the way, the final thing that people mentioned, Google, when they premiered their stock, took a bit of a dip on their first few weeks, and look at them now. So a bad opening IPO day is not necessarily the kiss of death. Here's where it's a little different. This is one of the few IPOs where the company of the value on paper was seen as decreasing leading up to the IPO. That does not inspire shareholder confidence, or investor confidence, I should say. For that matter, it's technically a new industry that's going public. Uber and Lyft are the first ride-share companies exclusively that are going public. Lyft started doing poorly. Thus, investors probably thought twice about going public. Here's another thing that's unique. Although this isn't, strictly speaking, a completely unique situation, but it's unique enough. The IPO narrative was literally stolen by the protests and the strike. Now, I have read people and heard people comment that the strike didn't actually do anything. Didn't hurt them financially. People could still get a ride. Even Phil DeFranco said, it's a low-skilled job, and I can get an Uber right now. I don't think it's going to do anything. And failing to realize that by virtue of him talking about it, the strike was doing something. And when Wall Street analysts and investors were reading the papers or their Yahoo financial feed, they weren't reading about how great Uber's IPO is going to be. They read about drivers who are unhappy, who are protesting, who are refusing to drive. Keep in mind, drivers are how this company runs. Someone scoffed me off in the comments and wrote this super long comment that I'm sorry, dude, but without paragraphs, I'm just not going to read those comments. But I read enough to know that he was like, it's like, drivers built this company? Well, you didn't have the idea, you didn't have the app. It's like, yeah, but drivers obviously control it. They built it because without drivers, there was no business to build. And without drivers, there's no product. There just isn't. So they're reading that, and then on the next page, they're seeing Uber's value go down. So there was a lot of super negative press with Uber going into the IPO that basically says, no, this might not be sustainable. This absolutely might not be sustainable. And who knows? There's so many reasons why the stock could have gone back. And that CNN, which, thank you, Nolan, for sending me the article, by the way, actually believes that the protests and the strikes did hurt Uber's IPO. They believe that absolutely did hurt their IPO. So there you go. The stock's just silver turtles. One thing I've learned from YouTube is not to give financial advice on YouTube. Well, and I'm not giving financial advice. I am telling you experiences I've had buying stock, but I am actually not telling you to buy anything. I'm not telling you not to buy anything either, for that matter. Let's make that absolutely clear. By the way, it should also be noted, because people are talking so much about the Uber stock, how did the Lyft stock do on that day? Well, the Lyft stock, from what I can see, let's go to the week here. Let's see here, Friday. Okay, I gotta do the little chart thing. Friday at 9:30 a.m., the stock Lyft was selling for $56.40. At the end of the day, they were selling for $51.09. But the lowest it got that day was $51.08. By the way, on the day of the strike itself, the protests, it got to an all-time low of $50.68. So the Lyft stock it opened at $87. Now it's trading at $51.09. It's lost more than 20% of its value. And so what this says to me, again, this is not financial advice. I'm just commenting, and I buy enough stocks to get an idea what's going on. Because now it's not just Uber that's suffering, it's Lyft. And it should also be noted that the day before the strike, Lyft released their first quarter earnings and revealed that they lost $1.1 billion. But they said, and Uber said this too, that they have hit their peak loss year. Their peak loss year. So they expect to be very profitable starting next year. How they're actually going to be profitable, we don't know. They didn't actually give that information to the shareholders, and shareholders don't like that. I know that every time, because I get these reports, whenever Disney fails to make money in certain areas, they highlight growth in other areas, and they talk about the potential of this movie or this attraction is going to bring it up. Uber and Lyft aren't doing that. They're just saying up front, we're going to be profitable, and that's not helping the investors actually feel confident about that. So Lyft has lost more than 25% of their value. Uber has lost almost 8%. So it's a dire situation. Uber lost a lot of money. And here's the sad thing. A lot of people who worked for Uber, who put in their blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not talking about the drivers per se. I am talking about... No, Pikachu's just happy. He loves it. Hey, we just need a little bit of happiness. But anyway... I'm not even talking about the drivers. I'm talking about the engineers and the people who worked at Uber and also helped build the company, who designed the apps, all that stuff. They got paid, I hear decently well, but they were mostly paid in restricted stock options. That means, from what I understand, they can't sell this stock for 92 days to 6 months. Somewhere along that line, they can't sell the stock. Which means 6 months later, let's say the stock gets to $20. And it's not inconceivable to think that right now. They've lost a lot of value of their stock. Now, what about like SoftBank, Saudi Arabia, Jeff Bezos, a lot of actors? What about them? I don't know if Travis Kalanick. I don't know if they are allowed to sell their stock right away or not. I doubt Travis Kalanick will sell his stock. I mean, I think he still wants to run Uber, to be honest, because there were some problems before the IPO started where Kalanick wanted to be on the podium with his dad when they rung the bell to open Uber, being a publicly traded company, and Dara Khosrowshahi said no. But he did come to like a little bit of a compromise where he acknowledged on the podium all the stuff that Kalanick had done for him. So, what's with the Movie Pass updates? We're not talking about Movie Pass, but there's no updates right now, just to let you know. So, that they kind of came to that conclusion, but I don't think that kind of says to me Travis is not going to sell anytime soon. I think he still wants to run Uber. And I know some people here are actually saying like, well, Travis made for a better CEO. You know what? It's hard to say. I think Travis was transparent about his shortcomings. Dara is a little bit more devious. There's a reason Mark from Uber Hints calls him Devious Dara, but he calls Travis Tricky Travie. I think those are good nicknames. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think, because keep in mind, Travis is the one that started the price war that resulted in drivers losing their fares. Travis is the one who decided, you know what, we're going to try to make autonomous vehicles. Actually, Dara wanted to shut the autonomous programs down because they aren't profitable and they're not making any progress, but the shareholders convinced him that that would be the future. So if Travis went back, I almost want Travis to go back because I think it would hasten Uber's demise, because he'd go back to breaking the rules and getting into Congress's face, and Congress is already looking at Uber. That's another thing that the protests and strikes did very well. They got everyone, they got the senators and the presidential candidates and stuff to look at the situation, and now there's bills being introduced to protect driver pay. So, anyway, okay, Willis said, I got a question. I ordered through my broker, and they edited my bid down to $42 when I IPO'd. Did the Uber drivers who took the stock bonus get the stock at $45? Drivers did not get any stock bonus. They did not. But just to let you know, the way stock bonuses work, you're given so many shares of stock, and you have the stock for whatever it's worth. So if the stock goes down, your stock goes down. That's what it is. It totally depends on the market. So, you know, there's a lot of people that got screwed. Like Sidegeek Harry said, the major investors in Lyft shorted the stock around $70 so they couldn't see their gains. Should be illegal. I expect Uber's investors did the same. Maybe. I do know that one of the early Lyft investors who owned over 2% stock in the company sold his stock before they even went public. So it's like, he might know something that we don't. And you know what? I agree with like Mark and other people who are talking about this. I think, I don't think that these companies are going to grow. I don't think they're going to make money. I've not believed they're going to make money for a long time. I think the reason they're going public now is because they've seen the height of these companies. The growth for both companies is slowing significantly. Like, they're not growing, and Wall Street cares about two things: growth and profit. So, like, if you have exceptional growth, sometimes investors will be patient with you, even if you're not profitable. You can also have slow growth, but if you're super profitable, investors might also be patient with you. But they want both. And they're not making money, and growth is slowing. So I think Uber and Lyft realized they needed to cash out now. Not surprised about your title, just got here. Yeah. No one's surprised about the title. That's a But I was talking because it's not only like the driver. Well, the drivers didn't get screwed on the stock market, other than they didn't get any. But like the executives took a bath, the company took a bath, the employees who got stock options as one of their deals for working for Uber, who can't sell their stocks for 6 months, they're taking a pretty big bath. So, by the way, there was one article that I had. I might make a separate video about this because this seems like it should be a separate video at some point. But Yahoo Finances, they have an article and it's headlined, "Here's Why Uber Could Be Profitable by 2030." Guys, the investors are unlikely to be patient for 20 years. 21 really at this point. So I'm not going to read that because I think I want to make a separate article on that one. But here's an article that Business Insider put up 4 hours ago. The headline is, "The Uber strike should worry investors and the company because it points to a fundamental problem with its business model." And they write, "The strike Wednesday by Uber and Lyft Uber drivers should serve as a warning to the companies and particularly to their investors. That's not because the labor action likely harmed Uber or Lyft's business that day in any significant way. Instead, the strike is important because it points to the fundamental flaw in their businesses. The two companies have built their services around paying their drivers pitifully low wages. That fact was at the center of Wednesday's strike. Drivers are indicating through that action and through other means that they aren't going to continue to put up with the poor pay. But it's not at all clear whether Uber and Lyft can afford to give them a raise. The two companies are burning through cash hand over fist in spite of giving drivers such poor compensation. And they're likely to come under increasing pressure to staunch those losses, even as drivers demand a raise. How they can solve that conundrum is anybody's guess. I think there's a good chance they simply can't, and both drivers and investors are going to lose out as a result." And it goes on to say Uber and Lyft drivers earn poverty wages. Drivers cited several reasons for going on strike: safety concerns and a lack of transparency over how the companies calculate their compensation and the factors they weigh when deciding whether to remove drivers from their services. But the overriding issue behind the driver action was anger over low and falling compensation. It's not hard to understand why. The average Uber driver makes just $11.77 an hour after deducting the company's fees and the driver's vehicle expenses, the Economic Policy Institute estimated in a study last year that focused just on the biggest ride-hailing company. Oh, hey, your driver Mike is here. How you doing, Mike? We have to do a podcast again soon. There's just so much going on that I think we can have like a good solid 2-hour podcast. But anyway. But as low as that wage is, it's below the poverty line for a family of 4. It's actually overstating their real earnings. Because Uber doesn't classify drivers as employees, the drivers are considered to be self-employed. That means in addition to the part of the payroll tax that all employees, self-employed or not, pay, they also have to pay the part that employees normally cover. It also means that they don't get health or retirement benefits from Uber, so they have to pay for those out of their own pockets as well. If you take into account those costs, the employer side of the payroll tax and the cost of modest health and retirement benefits, the average Uber driver made just $9.21 an hour, the EPA found. That's below the poverty wage for a family of 3. Wednesday's strike followed one in March by drivers in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego, and there are other signs of increasing driver discontent. The average driver only works for the company. Yeah, okay. You know what? Hey, Mike, if you're there, snapper grabber. Block him, please. The average Uber driver only works for the company for 3 months, and the EPA study found, meaning that few see it as a sustainable long-term job. And as the economy has improved, attrition among Uber and Lyft drivers and other so-called gig economy workers has spiked, the Wall Street Journal reported last week. In some cases, attrition levels may be hitting an astonishing 500% a year, the journal reported. Hi, Larry. Citing the... anyway. How long is this article? This is a fairly long article. I might just end up... Here, I should actually share this with you guys. But yeah, there's also like insurance and gas. The gas has like gone up quite a bit recently. So I'm going to share this. By the way, we have 166 people in this chat room. So if you can, give it a like. That'd be great. If I get to 100 likes, I will do this without the beanie. There's the article so you guys can read along if you want. Oops, that's not the article. So here's the next portion of the article we're at. The companies could have a tough time offering raises. Uber, Lyft, and their cohorts could likely staunch such attrition and driver disconnect by giving drivers and other gig workers a raise. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. There's a lot of people, and I'm focused. So sorry, Eddie. Despite the minuscule but the ride-hailing companies could find that difficult to do, even if they were inclined to do it. Despite the minuscule compensation they give their drivers, neither company has been able to generate consistent profits, much less become self-sustaining. And this is, by the way, one of the elephants in the room, because we definitely and rightfully complain about Uber taking 50 to 70% of the fare. But if they're doing that and they're still not profitable, that creates a real big problem for the business model. Ooh, 47 likes, almost halfway there to doing this beanie less. Last year, Uber burned through $2.1 billion in cash from its operations and its investments in property and equipment. Lyft, meanwhile, consumed nearly $350 million from its operations and such capital investments. Such red ink hasn't been much of a problem to date because both companies were private and their venture investors were willing to subsidize their losses in the hopes of having a big payoff when the companies went public. But as of Friday, neither company will be protected and secured by private investors anymore. Lyft held its initial public offering, and I got a super chat. Thank you. And Thomas Cass says almost everybody doing rideshare these days are on some sort of government assistance. Yes, they are. Although, sorry, in all fairness, I hear a lot of people who work for Walmart are also on government assistance, so it's pretty bad. 55 likes. If we get to 100, we do this beanie list, folks. So if you haven't liked, give it a thumbs up. Anyway, Lyft held its initial public offering in March, and Uber made its public market debut on Friday. Unlike venture investors, public shareholders tend to be far less tolerant of ongoing losses. They won't subsidize them ad infinitum, so both companies are sure to come under increasing pressure to stem the red ink. It's hard to see how they can do that and pay drivers more unless they raise the prices on consumers. But the intense competition between the two companies and the continued existence of alternatives such as traditional taxis and public transit makes it difficult for either to hike prices significantly. Wait a minute, what was that? Oh, thank you, Keto Me with Chef Bobby Z. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that. We're at 61 likes. Get to 100, I'll do this beanie less. So, next section. New York shows how wage and price hikes can hurt. New York has been a very, this is me, by the way, talking, controversial, because they're the first ones who've actually put a minimum wage in effect, as well as capped the driver cars. And by the way, everyone, particularly NYC vlogger, keep telling me it's not a minimum wage. And to get it through your heads, New York is not paying a minimum wage. And he explains it so much better. Well, also because he drives in New York. New York is such a strange beast. I try not to talk about it unless it's like majorly big because I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, this article says New York is a case in point. The city put in place new rules at the end of last year that require Uber and Lyft to pay drivers a minimum wage of $17.22. Hey, Dark Road Run, hope you're enjoying Japan. Of $17.22 an hour after expense. Oh, wait, it's probably 3 a.m. over there. Dude, get some rest. In response, both companies hiked their prices, but they both reportedly offset those hikes with generous customer discounts. The end result was that both companies' business in the city suffered. In the document Uber filed in advance of its IPO, it warned that the new regulations, including the wage hike, had a negative impact on our financial performance in New York City in the first quarter of 2019 and may have a similar adverse impact in the future. In a blog post, Lyft said that the regulations, 8:30, neat, had a negative impact on driver earnings, which almost certainly meant that they are affected its business as well. The company essentially ran a test on 2 separate days in which it didn't offer customer discounts to offset its price hikes and found that the price customers paid rose 24% and the number of rides fell 26%. In other words, the company's services aren't nearly as competitive or attractive to consumers if the companies have to pay their drivers fair wages. You know, I'm sorry to say that, but there's a lot of truth to that. But here's the other thing. I do believe that customers would obviously complain if they had to pay more for the rides. We all want it as cheap as possible. That's why people gripe whenever Netflix raises their price by like $2, even though it's like, so you're going to pay me an additional, like, I have to pay an additional $20 a year? Whoop-de-doo, or whatever. No, if it's $2 a month, that's like $24 a year, something like that. I mean, I remember like when AMC Stubs A-List was like, hi Robert, was raising their prices. Like, I'm locked into the $19.99 till like August, I think. But now they're charging $24. A lot of people are like, they're charging me $4 more. And I'm like, guys, I see like 10, 12 movies a month. Half of them are IMAX. The IMAX tickets are normally $20 a piece. You know what? Take my extra $4. Heck, make it $30. I don't care. But that's the other thing, though. As much as we complain about the price hikes, we will still pay for it if it's valuable to us. And I think Uber and Lyft are definitely valuable enough to most people that they will use them. We had for a brief moment 200 people. But hey, for all the new people who are here, give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. If we get to 100 likes, I'm doing this beanie-less. Or if someone donates $100, whatever comes first. I'm expecting the 100 thumbs up first. But anyway, both companies are hoping Robo Taxis will save them. Yep, we got to talk about the driverless cars. I love how they're calling them Robo Taxis now. I love 4DX, Eddie. It's a shame that I won't be seeing as much of it now that Cinemia went under, but, you know, I do love 4DX. I'm a little upset. Oh, thank you, Al Sadler, for the super chat. You didn't need to do that. He says minimum wage has turned into a price increase. Well, that's how minimum wage works, unfortunately, because I've lived through a couple minimum wage hikes. I thankfully make considerably more than minimum wage. Hola, David. But minimum wage, well, yeah, whenever everyone's wages go up, all the prices go up because companies are like, oh, well, we have to pay more, and now people have more money to spend, so they raise it, and it never really does what it's supposed to do, I'm sorry to say. So, but anyway, let's talk about the Robo Taxis, as they're starting to call them. Thank you, Cato. I appreciate that comment. By the way, if I'm missing a lot of comments, it's not intentional. If something catches my eye, I'll respond. You know, this is just the difficulties of live streaming and reading. By the way, folks, just to let you know, I did get a GoPro camera. It should be in the mail. Thank you, Ramon, for the $5 super chat. You didn't have to do that, but when I get dinner tonight, maybe it'll be ramen. I don't know. Maybe I'll make myself a hot dog. I've got a bunch of corn dogs in the freezer. I will think of you when I eat it. So thank you so much. But when I get the GoPro, I want to set it up where like we can read the article together, kind of like because kind of just to make it more visually interesting. Dustin said, I didn't lose because... Hey, Dustin, he said, I didn't lose because I didn't play. That's true. Well, anyway, Dustin, tell everyone to say that if we get to 100 likes and we're almost there, we will do this beanie-less. But let's finally look at the robotaxis. Both companies have indicated they believe the long-term solution to the problem is to move to driverless vehicles. No, it's not. No, it's not. If they had robo-taxis instead of human driver-driven ones, they wouldn't have to worry at all about driver compensation. Lyft took a step in this direction this week when it announced a deal with Waymo, whereby its customers will be able to order a ride in one of the latter self-driving vehicles in suburban Phoenix. By the way, it should be noted, folks, Waymo, I believe, does have a stake in Lyft. That's why they have a stake in Uber too, but that's one of the reasons why, you know, the Waymo cars are being tested on Lyft, because they're invested in the company. I think Waymo's going to buy one of these companies. But the idea of fully replacing human Uber and Lyft drivers with self-driving cars may be a distant dream. I've spoken with numerous investors lately who focus narrowly on the self-driving car space. It's in their interest to promote the market and for their investments to pay off sooner rather than later. Their general assessment is that the technology is not mature enough to be used outside of suburban or fixed environments right now. Vehicles capable of autonomously and safely navigating the dense urban environments where Uber and Lyft have gotten the most traction are still years and maybe decades away. There you go. So I'm not sure how Uber or Lyft solves this conundrum. What I do know is it's not going away, and if the strike Wednesday is any indication, the problem may get much worse before Uber or Lyft solves it. By the way, there's one more thing I want to. I kind of can't believe I kind of forgot to mention this, but Dara has, if he can, I believe if he can keep the company valued at over $100 billion within the next 90 days, he gets a $100 million bonus. Not sure if he's actually going to get it. But anyway, there you have it. Now, it has been noted that there were less people who showed up at the strike this time than last time. But again, people are still talking about the strike, the protest, and it's having a negative effect on, potentially, on the stock. And this is the situation that Uber and Lyft created. Uber wanted to put their competition out of business, so they lowered the prices. At one point, they got Sidecar, and Sidecar actually went out because it's like, hey, we can't charge these prices. We won't make any money. But Lyft didn't do so. Lyft just got into a pricing war with Uber going down. And more people start using the services as a result of it going down. Because here's the thing. When you've got like a deal too good to be true, you might as well take advantage of it. That's why people did Movie Pass for so long. $10 a month, not sustainable. I think we all know that. I naively thought it would be, but I just wanted, I think, cheap movies. I think that's what I just want. I just want cheap movies. $10 a month for unlimited movies was not sustainable. I don't even think anything for unlimited movies is sustainable. I was paying $100 a month on Movie Pass at one point for unlimited movies, which included IMAX and all that jazz. That was probably a little sustainable because there were a couple months I didn't use the $100. And then there were other months I amazingly doubled that. The Apptrepreneur is going to love this hater video I'm about to post for all the trolls out there. Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing that video. So Uber and Lyft have created the situation where their product is widely possible because well, my head won't be naked. I've got hair, but you know, hey, 200 people watching. Welcome everyone. A lot of people use the product because it's so cheap, but that cheapness is not good for Uber. It's not good for us. But oh hey, NYC driver log, welcome. We were just talking about the New York minimum wage, so it's a shame that you weren't here to help, expand upon that. But he made a good video, guys, about that. So realistically, the only thing they can do is to raise the prices, but none of the customers want the prices to go up. And if they raise the prices, growth will slow even more, like they already are. So, yeah, this is a bad situation they're in. And I'm definitely thinking that the fact that the Uber IPO didn't even pop, it just dropped. I mean, it went up a little bit. It almost got to $45 a share, but then it went well below that. So I think the investors know this. I think they all know this. But so 13 more likes, and I'll do this without the beanie, guys. I mean, we've got we're doing it this long already. We might as well do this for a full hour. Hey, Payman, how you doing? So, and then later tonight, I actually got to email some people that I met at the protest because I got their cards and stuff. So I got to do that. It's like Terry says, or you're just awesome. So, hey, Terry, how you doing? So, 89. What did Kenneth say now? What did Kenneth say? When he removes the beanie, there will be another beanie. Oh, I should set it up that way. Then we can aim for 200 likes. So let's see here. Let's do this at Hello Kevin. What do you think about the video they sent everyone about themselves? Oh, that. Yeah. I'm debating whether or not to actually make a video about that. For those of you who are not aware, on the IPO day, and I'm sure this was so totally supposed to make it for the fact that, the executives were going to be making billions of dollars and not the drivers. They took a page out of Facebook's book because I'm pretty sure most of you are on Facebook. What Facebook does is like at the end of the year or on birthdays or on certain anniversaries, they do like a little collage of photos and stories, and they're like, yay, like, and they share pictures. Like it's kind of like a little walk down memory lane. Well, Uber decided they wanted to do that for all of us. I got mine. They said, you were driving for more than 3 years, and it's like, actually, it's been more than 4 years, but technicalities. And it looks and sounds almost exactly like a Facebook memory video. And I don't know what they were hoping this would accomplish. Because it's like, you had over 3,000 rides, you had over 4 years, you've had this many 5 stars, this was your longest consecutive thing, you've done this many nights you went to bed and you woke up, and it's like, you're telling me all of this as if I care. You're saying this as if I care. Like I don't care that you're complimenting me. You've been complimenting me for years. It's never meant anything. I want a raise. And I want a little bit more money. Heck, I want my bonus that I was initially promised, which I definitely not going to get that now. But, I mean, I kind of wanted to make a video about that, but you know what? I've got so many news articles to talk about that I think talking about a condescending email with a video from Uber, that doesn't seem like it's really worth my time. And I don't think any of you are really interested in seeing that. We all know it's stupid. Plus, now I'm talking about it here. So, there's no reason to... Anyway, it's... wow. The Uber is so out of touch with the drivers. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I even think on Harry Campbell's channel, which... he actually finally showed up in one of my live streams, guys. I got to talk to him a little bit during the live stream, and apparently I showed up in one of his videos recently. What did he say? Rideshareguy.com. Excuse me. So we've got 200 people watching again. If you haven't given a thumbs up, please do. We get to 100 likes. I will take the beanie off. So there you go. Let's see here. Here's the strike blog post. Let's see here. Let me find out what he said. Okay. So, Harry's writing this, not me. So if I already see at least one little semi-inaccuracy, but if there's an accuracy here, don't. He's quoting, hold on, let me make sure I'm getting this right. Okay, Harry writes, NYC has passed a minimum wage law and capped the number of rideshare vehicles. Other cities are considering similar legislation to NYC, and I imagine that these protests will... Oh, great. I don't want an ad. Well, an ad for the Rideshare Guide book. Other cities are considering similar legislation to NYC, and I imagine that these protests will only intensify that process. This seems like a huge risk to both Uber and Lyft, and I'm still speechless as to why Uber would cut the per mile rate by 25% just 2 months before they plan to IPO. Someone really screwed up, and I think it shows that Uber is still pretty out of touch with driver sentiment despite their best efforts to listen to drivers. That's where I'm going to disagree with just ever so slightly. Oh, hey, look, we're at 99. Oh, we got 100. Got 100. There we go. There. We got 100 likes.
Woo!
Yes, Katie does not realize that when we get to that for every 100 likes we get to, it turns into like a strip game where I take a piece of clothing off. Yeah.
Yay.
So, anyway, oh yeah, everyone's saying, hey Katie. And yes, I do have hair. A lot of people assume I'm bald because I wear the beanie.
Oh.
But nope, I have hair. I have a lot of hair and it grows longer every day, and Katie loves it that way.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, don't you love my long hair?
Honey.
She wants me to get a haircut. And I told her I'd get one in September for our wedding. But anyway, oh wow, that hair. But that's the problem with the beanie; it messes the hair up, though. So, no, she's not participating. She was taking a nap. So,
Yeah.
that's yep. Pikachu's in the background saying "beanie off, beanie off." So, hey Sherry. So, anyway, and now we've got 15 more minutes. Oh, thank you for the $2 super chat, Jay Beats. He says, "Stop paying CEOs millions and self-driving cars equals money. 200 likes means haircut."
Everyone. Everyone. Everybody. Everybody. Everybody hit that like button. Like. Yeah.
She really wants me to get a haircut. Al Sadler says, "Does Katie drive?" Yes. Actually, okay. See you later, Dustin. She does drive. She hasn't been doing Uber recently, but she does Postmate. We do Postmates together, actually, and she sometimes does some Lyft. So John says, "Oh, how sweet." 300 like equals 5 o'clock shadow. Oh yeah, I need to shave. So have her take over. She gets those likes. Okay, what are you gonna talk about, honey?
I don't know. I have nothing better to say.
Yeah. She's a little Well, I'm a little camera shy, but I handle it better. Well, I don't know. See, I've told her she should get her own channel, but she doesn't know what she talk about.
Yeah, I don't know.
And and here's the other thing. She's so sweet. I don't want her to have to deal with like some of like the nasty comments that I get. I have outright harassers on here, and it's like I have to tell her like, oh, my dad was, or mom, whoever's using that account right now, was the 100th like.
Yay!
So.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jonathan says they don't have to raise prices, just give the drivers more a fare. Yeah, but the problem with that is that they're still not making money off what they are taking. So if they just give us more of the fare, then they're making less money. Dustin says, have her co-star with you. Well, technically she does co-star with me on the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel, which you can look up. Let me put the and the roommates are home.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Let's second. Oh, Corey, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for the super chat. He says, "Thank you for everything you do for the rideshare community." Thank you. I appreciate that. But here's let's go back over here. John says I have Clipper. Okay, Dustin, you have a good night. I'm really looking forward to that video, actually, Dustin. If you want to see Katie co-host with me, we do a lot of videos together on the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. That's the link. So you can all go there, subscribe. We're gonna be I'm gonna be editing the video tonight, but I think tomorrow or Monday we're gonna have our Detective Pikachu review up together. Yeah. So, Rainfire says, here's the thing, Uber provides the leads. If driver provided their own leads, they would be taxi drivers. Yeah, but eBay provides the leads as well, but they're not taking half of the sale. Mario says, oh, I read that already. Milkhammer says, will there be any more strikes? I assume there will be. Yeah, well, Southern California, we've got, well, Katie doesn't live here yet. She lives at her own place. We'll find a place to live afterwards, but we intend to have roommates for a little while, for like a year or so. Later, John. Let's see here. Okay, later, Larry. We're at 49 minutes. We're probably going to stream for 10 more minutes, guys. That gets the hour, so, an hour I think is usually like a fair amount of time. Dead Marine, that's a funny comment, but we can't show it. I'm sorry. I also agree with you, Blake, but I can't show that comment either. John says, our next strike needs to target all the drivers at the TNC staging areas to get them on our side. Every other cart to strike on Wednesdays was an Uber or Lyft. Yeah, I think there might be something to be said about turning the apps on and cluttering up the queue and then just not accepting rides. That might be something. So let's see here. Is there a giveaway on this live stream today? Not today. But in a few months, which will probably be for like 15,000 subscribers, I am going to probably be giving away like the entire series of Game of Thrones digitally. So, yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, keep an eye, because I'm going to rebuy the series on 4K disc.
Oh, okay.
And it comes with a digital copy of all the seasons, and I won't need it, so I'm just going to give that away as a prize.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be a popular stream, I bet.
Yeah.
It's like, Kevin, you have that classic hair like Charlie Brown. Cool. Charlie Brown didn't have hair. He had that one circle.
Oh, yeah.
So, 114 likes so far. Yep. I appreciate. How about giving away a GoPro? No, I think you guys would prefer me to keep the GoPro right now so that in the future live streams we do, I can have the articles on the side of the screen while I read about them, then you can read along. So Ben says, Uber fired me because of safety issues back in January 1st of this year. I don't drink, I smoke weed, but don't drive high yet. Uber, even though no proof, but driver's complaints on one of those rides. Yeah, well, Ben, I'm going to say something right now. Although you might not be driving when you're high, if the car reeks of marijuana, that's actually not a safe situation either. I'm sorry, it just isn't. So, John says, as tempting as it is to gum up the app for drivers that are accepting rides, we need to get all the drivers on our side and not alienate some of them. Yep. Tell us more about the GoPro. The GoPro, someone's selling it to me. My Patreon members have helped me get that. So thanks to the Patreon support as well as the super chats and things like this, I was able to finally get a GoPro. It's just waiting for it to come in right now, and yeah, we might have slightly different looking videos. I don't know when I'm going to get a green screen and lighting, but I'm working on that as well. So, do we have... Let's see here. Ari says, apps have to go for a week to show them how serious these issues are, but that will not happen. No, it probably won't. But here's one of the things I keep telling people. The protests will probably increase, and more people will probably quit. I think Uber is getting to the point where they are definitely losing more drivers than they're bringing in, and that will eventually have an effect on them. That will eventually have an effect. Dead Marine says, I got fired from Uber because I drove naked. Well, that probably sounds like you should get fired for that. Al Sadler says, oh, great. Since I'm a patron, I feel like I contributed. Yes, Al, you have contributed. So thank you very much. NYC, okay, see you later, Noah. He says, I got to go. The whole borough is fire. I guess that means surge?
Oh.
Probably what that means.
Yeah.
So Ben says, yeah, but I live here in Cali. Many of my drivers are smelling at my car. I may never have weed in my car. Yeah, but here's the thing. Again, I'm not like I'm against you, but like if your car constantly reeks of weed, cigarettes, or alcohol, I can see why that would be uncomfortable. Unfortunately, it's a double standard. It totally is. The customers can smell up your car, but you can't smell up your own car. It's not fair. It's not right, but that's just how it is. So, oh, hey, Rob, AZ, I haven't seen you here for a while. So, anyway, we've got 6 more minutes. Celebrilla Nation said Postmates eliminated driver ratings. Yes, they did. I actually know this because I've been using Postmates, both as a customer and as a driver. And yeah, they don't have a rating system. They have a thumbs up and a thumbs down. And when you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, you can select either praises you had with a ride or complaints. Hi, Ryan. Weekend's going fine. And that's a much better system than the star grade. George says, when are you visiting San Francisco? I have no plans to in the near future. San Francisco, I hate San Francisco, to be perfectly honest. I do not like, no disrespect to anyone who lives there, but I have never liked San Francisco. I don't like, I just, it's too crowded there, and I mean, it's crowded enough here as it is. I mean, there's a reason we might even be moving back to Sacramento. I'm getting kind of tired of the traffic, to be honest. So, but I don't like San Francisco at all. Never have. Oh, have a good night, David. So Dead Marine says San Francisco is amazing. Yep, a lot of people feel that way. I just don't. Ben Jeffrey says my point is I never did smell at my car and I don't smoke my car ever. But you admitted that you smoke weed all the time, so you probably did smell up your car and you just don't smell it right now. Sup Shady. I will show your comment, but I'm going to disagree because it's kind of how would I put this? You might think the spray is enough. It's not. It really is not. So, Alexander Koo says, you should have joint channel, just blog on the road doing food delivery. Well, I do have a vlog channel. There's the link again. That's where stuff like that will be showing up. Let's do this. Said Kevin, you should come to here, the land of frozen tundra. Oh, darn it. No, don't. Stop it. The mouse. Ah. Okay, where was I? We got 10 inches of snow 2 days ago. S. Vahid, why no beanie? Because I got over 100 likes. That's kind of the rule. You get over 100 likes in this thing, there's no beanie. Ryan Stressers, have you ever been to the Disney Family Museum in San Francisco? Yes, and I liked it quite a bit. That's one of the few reasons I would go back there, but I haven't been there. I've only been there once a few years ago. Well, Ben, you should not. Obviously, the false drinking, that sounds like a false report. It's just, I do know that if there's stenches in there, customers will report it. Original name with originality says Detective Pikachu background is amazing. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Pika. Pika Pika.
She loves Pikachu. She really, Al Sadler says Uber Eats has the thumbs up or thumbs down rating in the Bay Area. Yeah, no, I agree with the thumbs up and thumbs down rating a lot more. Chicago says, what's your plan for the weekend? Well, we're probably going to eat. Might actually have Postmates deliver. I mean, we did just get a bunch of donations, so we'll probably play some Kingdom Hearts. We just finished Season 1 of The Promised Neverland, which, by the way, if any of you have Funimation Now or Crunchyroll, definitely check that. Definitely check that that show out. That was I cannot wait for Season 2 to come out. That is going to be amazing, I hope. Let's see here. Let's see here. Where else? Peach says, what are the rates there where you are? Ours here in Cincinnati is 60 cents a mile and 17 cents a minute. That's about what it is here. Maybe a little less once you take the commission out. Let's see here. What did you discuss with the rideshare guy? Well, we talked about the strike and stuff like that. You can check out the live stream video. It's like a couple days ago now, so I think it's Uber Lyft strike part 2. And it's about 15, 20 minutes into there, something like that. Did you buy a jack for your car? Yes, we did buy a jack for the car. Didn't we, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had a long talk about that, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, what did we learn?
Always be prepared.
Yes. And a spare tire isn't very useful if you don't have the jack.
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh, hey, Chuck, watching from Ghana, West Africa. Well, welcome to the channel. And hi, Simon. Greetings from Canada. James says their freshener doesn't cover up the pot smell. I know I have customers that get in the car, and you know when they get in the car that they have been smoking because the odor is on them. I'm glad that Canada sends the greetings. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I always kept an air freshener in the car, and I sprayed it when I could, but sometimes it really didn't matter. It sometimes really just did not matter. Okay, we are now at the hour point, so now we are wrapping it up. Any final likes or whatever? Now's your chance to do it one more time. Here's a link to the Apptrepreneur vlog channel. Oh yeah, you like to do this part.
Yeah.
So anyway, but for everyone who might not have watched this live, who is watching this after the fact, what do you say about all of this? Do you agree, disagree? Catch you later, Terry Tips. I would love to know. So comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to the Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, with the gas prices going up, check out the Get Upside app, link below. It's a free app, and you'll get cash back on every gas purchase you make. Also, I'm going to leave it one more time. Subscribe to the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. New content coming up every week, including a review of Detective Pikachu with me and her within a day or two. And also check us out on the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. You have to be approved to join, but we've been approving most people. And as always,